So Beauvais, I'm a grade 11 student here at CCVS. I'm part of the Mohawk territory, and I live in Tsiwahsontiio. Saya CCVS and I'm here to talk to you about the ribbon dresses and how it plays a role in my culture. I started learning about ribbon dresses at a very young age. I always grew up, my mom always made ribbon dresses, and ever since I was young, when she was putting the ribbons on or measuring it out, I would ask her questions about it, like why do we put the ribbons on and how can we do it this way? And she told me that the ribbons were mostly like style based and how to express oneself in a well speaking just by kind of displaying who you are. For example, the one I'm wearing right now, this was one of the first ones I helped my mom design because my mom was making it for me. It was my graduating outfit for when I was going into high school, and that was a big deal for me because helping my mom design something was very kind of special towards me. They used to be made out of deerskin leather, but not so much today since leather is very expensive. So we found an alternative through fabric. The fabric can be beaded and also put ribbons on it to add more contrast and style. Adding beads or ribbons to the ribbon dress sound like to represent the creation story or any other story from my culture. Ribbon dresses are worn by women and ribbon shirts are worn by men. They're mostly worn at the longhouse, so our ancestors and spirits can tell the difference. As well as ribbon dresses and ribbon shirts, we also have wampum belts. Wampum belts represents our laws and our most sacred kind of way of life. And they have different meanings, like this one. When the first settlers came, we made a treaty. This line right here represents the Mohawks, the Haudenosaunee people, and this represents the river, and this represents the settlers. And this was originally made as a law that we can coexist with each other. The art of wampum making is slowly dying off, and it's a valued part of my culture. I made these belts myself. This one, freshman year at CCVS, and the second one was from 4th grade at my elementary school. They're difficult to make as well. This one took 2 to 3 weeks. The second one took a week. Wampum belts were traditionally made by seashells that were traded between tribes with equal value. How they obtained the wampum beads was from the tribe from Long Island, New York, because the she shells would wash up to the shore and they would harvest them and grind and make them into beads. Originally, beads were very hard to obtain, so when a female had a yoke, cuffs, or a crown that were beaded, it was meant to show off wealth and a higher status.
Hi everybody, my name is Phoenix, also known as Sha'tekarihwaien, and I go to CCVS and I am in 11th grade. And today I am going to be talking about maple syrup and what it means to my people. So it was originally, as you know, collected by the by First Nations people in North America. But also, originally we never had metal. We used a wooden spout and it didn't flow as fast, but it worked. And we didn't have any tools, or we did, but they weren't power tools. And we had these. And this little spot right here is where some people would put the bucket, and it would drip on days and days on end. When the Europeans arrived, the First Nations showed them how to use it because the Europeans used honey and we used syrup. Also, in many different times, it was used as medicine because my people believed that, and still believe, that it carries a medicine, and once you drink it, it cleanses you from the inside. There is a story where there is a daughter and a mother. The mother was very ill, and she was also very hungry, so she asked her daughter to go hunt. And as she was hunting and hunting, she had come across many of trees. And at the time, people had an open mind, so they believed that trees and animals and plants could talk. So she went to the first tree and said, "Can you please help me? My mother is very ill. She is very sick, and I wish to make her better." And the tree said, "Leave, you are wasting my time." He went to the next tree, and the tree had a lot of animals, and she said, "Please, can you help me? My mother is very ill, and all she needs is a little food." And he said, "No, now go away, you are wasting my time." Until he came across a maple tree, and he said, "Maple tree, can you help me? My mother has fallen ill, and all the other trees have said no." And he said, "Yes, I can. You will plant a hole inside of me, then you will get a spout, and from there sap will drip." He waited a couple of nights, a couple of days, until he had enough. He poured it into a cup and he gave it to his mother. Next day, his mother was better. And now we have a ceremony where we get in the spring, where we collect sap and we make syrup, and we drink from the sap and we give thanks for all of its healing properties. What I also want to come around and discuss is some of the objects and some of the Mohawk words we use. As you can see, everybody calls it maple, but in the Mohawk language it's called wata. That means maple. Gagwidene means spring. Ogule means tree. And Kanyakahaga means Mohawk language. The Taristis Dunyata is a sugar shack. That is where the sap is made, and that's where the syrup is stored, and that's where it's made. The tree has 3 layers. Every tree has 3 layers. The tap hole has to be at least 3 inches in. The sap is usually behind the bark, or even deeper. And you never want to go too far to the heart of the tree, because then otherwise you'll end up killing it. Oh, and you can see right here, it was harder to make a fire just after spring because the snow was still melting and everything was wet, so it got really, really complicated. I also want to start off with some stories that I have from my personal experiences. I live in Tsiwahsontiio, and it kind of gets exciting around that year because everybody gets to make syrup, and some people have done this years and years and years. I went to the Freedom School, the Tsiwahsontiio Freedom School, or AFS, and the teachers and the principal used to take students to the sugar shack, and then they would show kids how to make it and how to make it. And they would give away these little bottles right here. They didn't always look like this. Some of them looked like little buckets. And with the little kids, they would show them how to make it. But then with the older kids, they would ask. I was always asked, like my whole class, if we could go to the sugar shack and help them. And we always volunteered to say yes. So we did. Somebody asked me, how do you identify store-bought syrup to tree syrup? Somebody said, why do we give thanks? I was a little younger, I guess you could say. You know, like I thought I knew everything, and I didn't really know why. I kind of asked that myself. So one night I couldn't sleep because of that question, and it took me a while to think about, but eventually I knew of an answer. It's like whenever you get up in the morning and you see breakfast ready sometimes, and you thank your mom or your dad for making it for you. Think of it like that, like you're thanking trees that they're helping you get through something, and just be thankful of all things. For me, it's like because we have sap, and that usually takes a long time, and when we finally get it, or when it finally comes to ceremony, it's great because everybody is there, everybody's thankful, everybody knows the meaning why.
Hi, I'm Thompson, and I'm grade 11, and I'm from CCVS. I'll be talking about origami today and why I like it. And the reason I like it is because my mother taught me how to do something with it, and I just really liked it, so I just kept doing things. I made this origami board with an international student from Japan from last year. I'll be talking about the things I made today and where it came from. It came from Japan, and some of the things I made were like origami or magic balls like this. Magic balls. And other smaller versions of the magic ball. This is the earth, and it represents many forms and valleys that the earth has, and mountains. So that's the earth. And flowers. And butterflies. Butterflies. And I made an eagle. Balances on your finger. These are flashers, and they go like this. Hi, I'm going to make a bird that flaps its wings, and here we go. My Mohawk culture, we respect the land and people. One of the things that represents the land and people is the eagle, because the eagle is one of the most important things, or one of the respected things in the culture. And flowers, butterflies, those are part of the land culture too. My culture has inspired me to keep making things and be creative, and it also inspired me to tell other people to do the same thing. In my Mohawk culture, we respect the land and people.